Welcome. Hi, this is Carol Mixon from Skill Check. And today I'm going to be talking about selling storage space in high occupancy. This whole process isn't always easy sometimes. You think, "Oh gosh, I'm where I need to be. I'm at 100% occupancy." Well, actually, if you're at 100% occupancy, I would say that you're not increasing your rates enough. I think today we're looking somewhere probably in the low 90s is where we're looking for your occupancy to be. Then you have enough spaces to sell and your pricing is just about right. So if you're 100% occupied, you're actually not charging enough. So then you think, okay, well, remember, we've got another problem on our hands when you have high occupancy. So what if the customer is, if you're completely full and you see a customer moving out? Boy, you've got to see something like that and then you have to do something. And if you have customers that are on a waiting list, you really need to work that waiting list. So you want to be sure to ask the customers, hey, are you moving out for good? Because sometimes they just move some stuff. And even sometimes I've seen a moving truck and they're like, oh, we're not moving out. We're just moving some of our stuff to a different place or, whatever it is. But you do want to educate customers on moving out with a notice. And that may happen even when they're moving in. Just remind them to say, hey, by the way, and I like, if you give those rules or be a good neighbor or whatever you want to call those things that you give to them at the beginning of the rental that tells them how to do things, put the move out information in there. If you're moving out, please give us notice. We'd love to, if you'd love to have notice. Some people ask for a 7-day notice. Some people ask for a 30-day notice. Some people say it doesn't matter, just whenever you want to move out, and then that's where it goes from there. But you really do need to learn to manage those move outs, especially in your storage software. It's going to make a big difference when you do that. So remember, you need to constantly work those move out lists. And I liked, you can do them actually in the computer or you can have a physical list. It really doesn't matter to me. I know that, efficiency wise, it's going to be better if it's in the computer because it will remind you, oh, this person is supposed to move out on the 28th, and you can go check the unit to see if it's actually moved out. But it is really imperative that you keep track of the customers who are moving out and just not I've seen some managers like, oh, well, if they call me and let me know what it is, or if I find it, then that's fine. But when you're 99 or 100% occupied or really close in there, you really need to have a list. So as soon as that person moves out, you can have someone else moving in. And working those move out lists, I think you need to call people and say, are you still needing a space? Because I have one coming open tomorrow, and that sort of thing. But you also want to put up signs in the office and on the gate, the exit doors or whatever you have at your property, because people need to know that they need to let you know when they're getting out. Now, I will say that there are some people that hate to tell us when they're moving out. But you do need signage around there. And it's interesting because I noticed on the Chateau website the other day, I looked for a sign there. They didn't have any signs for that. So I've gotten them before from like apartment companies, be sure to let us know if you're moving out. So apartment website that sells that kind of signage, they can help you with that. And remember, when you're handling those phone sales with this high occupancy, keep your scheduled move out list close to the phone. That's important because when you've got it close to the phone, that at least will keep you, if you're say, okay, well, I do have someone, when do you need it? Because I do have someone moving out this Saturday. And make sure you input the reservations in the management software. Then that will help you keep track of all of this. And use that software also to track the reservations and the move outs. And then you've got to remember to call or email customers to verify that they've moved out. You also have to go down there to make sure they do that and what dates and times they're going to do that. And it doesn't hurt to call people. I mean, it's just if they're moving out, just say, hey, I remember you were moving out and I forgot what day you said or when you were going to do it because I have another person interested, something like that. So be really nice about it and they'll be nice with you generally. Well, not all the time, but sometimes. And so really, the idea about this is to stay on top of your customers who are moving out because some people also think they should leave their lock on the space when they leave, and then there's a problem, right? So unless you educate them properly, they're going to think, oh, I think we just leave the lock for them. They think we have a key to their lock. I don't know why that is either. I try to always be clear to that at the rental. And I would make sure on, if you do the better job you do at the beginning of a rental, certainly helps on with the people on the way out, but sometimes they forget, especially if it's years and years that they've been in there. Communicate that move out process. Again, if someone comes in or calls and says, hey, we're moving out, and just say, okay, let me tell you kind of the process. If I appreciate you letting me know. And when you do get ready to leave, if you leave during office hours, just come in and let us know. Appreciate it. You do not have to leave your lock on. We'll, as soon as you leave, we'll take your code out. So, you make sure you get everything before you tell us you're moving out, and use signage again around the property. And it's really a pain in the neck when the customer actually leaves their lock on until their last date of rental, so that we can't re-rent the space. Have you ever had customers like that? They're like, oh, nope, we're not going to give you, we're leaving 5 days and you won't give us those 5 days credit. So we're just going to leave the lock on. And then they forget to go take the lock off. And then it goes into delinquency and sometimes lien, and they've moved out and their lock is still on it. So it is a real pain. And just try to work with customers and try to get them to work with you, but walk the property. The stores that I find that have the most difficulty with this is the managers just don't walk the property. They haven't been out on the property enough to know what's going on with those people that are moving out, or the delinquent people, or the people that have left the lock on and they clearly said they had moved out. But you also you can check the gate activity to see, oh, they moved out, and then just do a reminder call. Hey, just want to make sure you're out. And sometimes they leave stuff in there and you think, okay, they may be coming back because they left us some goodies. I don't know why they think they can leave anything either. I tell people, if move in your treasures, and then you move out your treasures, whatever those are. But talk to them while they're on the property, and that will really help you to help solve some of these issues with handling those people coming in and out, and working those waiting lists. Because all of what you're trying to do with these move outs is try to get new people in as soon as you can. You don't want to wait another month or even a few days. Those my managers that are on top of this, they are so good at it. And it really does help the occupancy. It helps the income at the store, because as soon as that one person's out, that next person, they've got them in and ready to go. And it's really helpful to the customer too. So you're doing a great service for the customer. So you want to remember, so have a process. When you're starting this process, call, text, and email when you have a space available, and when you're going to work with trying to get someone new in there. So you want to communicate with that customers. Good managers work in the office and watch what's happening on the property also. You cannot just be an office rat and figure this thing out. You've got to be able to get on the property also, get out there to know what's going on, to be able to know when you have move outs. As an auditor, I've constantly consistently found people, it's like, oh wow, these people have been out for 15 days and you still have them as in the space. And they're like, oh yeah, well, they're delinquent. Well, well, I don't know why. So, and I'm thinking, okay, well, why wasn't there even an overlock on by the 15th? So you want to watch those things. If you're doing your procedures correctly, it shouldn't be too long before you find the problem. But, if you find a space empty, you also need to call the customer, because it might be someone has stolen stuff out of there. You can't just move it out and not call the customer. So try to contact the customer too. So communicate with not only the potential customer, but with the customer that was in the unit. So what all of this boils down to is you need to really be observant and don't miss those customers who are moving out. Sometimes the manager's like, well, yeah, I saw them moving some stuff yesterday, but I didn't know they're moving completely out. Well, you have some customers that move things in and out, but if they come with a big truck or something like that, that's going to be sort of more of a giveaway that, oh yeah, these people may be moving out. Yeah, so you want to keep on top of that. You want to contact prospective renters. Keep in constant contact with those people who you have on a list, a waiting list, looking for a space. And I will tell you, there are people, especially like in RV spaces, that they will wait sometimes months to get a space because they know how valuable they are and hard to get. And that same is true. And sometimes even with the customer wanting a space in a certain location, they may say, well, I have one on an upper level and I'd really like one right near the elevator on this floor. And if it comes available, that's when you need to contact the person and say, hey, we've got it available now and you can come, because they've moved out. But you have to keep information about this. And the best way to do that is in the software. But again, you have to be really proactive in the software to take good notes and to make sure that you get reminders to come up so you can let the person know if something happens. So thank you so much for listening. And I hope if you're 100% occupied, you need to go up on your rent. And at a minimum, I'm hoping that you're going to get out there and watch those move outs and to really maximize the profitability of the store by managing those new move ins and those move outs. Happy renting.